Good morning, Year 9. So in today's lesson, we're going to look at combining ratios. But before we do that, we're going to do a bit of a recap of what we did yesterday. So we're going to have a look at these questions on the starter and have a go. Now, when you do this, you can, if you want to use a calculator, in particular on question on the orange section, because it's quite a big number to use. Okay, just put me on pause now, thank you. Excellent, so your answers are as follows. Okay, so just to go over the first one, the sharing in the ratio 3:4. So if Sarah gets 48, that means each part is worth 12, and you've got 7 parts times 12, which is 84. Okay, those are the other answers. Right, moving on. So three-way ratio. So this is the first example I'm going to go through. So I've told you that A and B are in the ratio 3:4. B and C are in the ratio 2:1. I want to find and combine them into a ratio ABC. Now the problem is at the moment that if this is A and B, it's B and C, the number is not the same. Can you see the B number is not the same? If it was, it'd be straightforward to combine them. But at the moment, I need to make it so this B number here, which is 4 in this case, and 2 over here, is the same. So what I'm going to do is multiply the second ratio by 2, because that's equivalent, isn't it? It's equivalent ratio. So I've just changed this one, multiplied it by 2 to get an equivalent ratio. And then what you can recognise now is that you've got two ratios where B is now the same numbers. You can combine them. So it becomes 3, 4, 2. So you have combined them together. And that's the final answer. So the way it's going to work is I'm going to give you one now to try on the right hand side. Just put me on pause. See how far you get, and I'll go through it, and you can try again on some very similar ones, okay? So put me on pause while you have a go. Thank you. Right, then the answer. So these are the two ratios I've got. Now I need to make it so this number here, the B ratio, is the same for both these two ratios here. So what I'm going to do, thinking about the lowest common multiple, I'm going to make them so they're both 6. You see, I've made them so they're both 6 because they both go into 6. So to make this one into a 6, it becomes you times by 3. You times this one by 2. And then now they're both 6, I can combine them. So 9, 6, 2. Okay, we'll do another example. So another example. So these are the two ratios again, 1 and 5 and 3 and 2. I want to combine them, so I need to make this middle number the same. So what should I choose the middle number to be? Well, I should choose it to be 15, because they both go into 15. Think lowest common multiple, okay? So times this one by 3, this one by 5, and then I can combine them at the end. Okay? Just put me on pause while you just try them on the other side, and then come back for the answer. Thank you. Okay, good. So you combine them to make them into 28. 24, 28, and 28, 21. So you times this one by 4, this one by 7, and combine them at the end. Excellent. Right. What I want you to do now is put me on pause while you try these exercises. Please don't just, it's more of the same, so just combining the ratios. Okay, so put me on pause, thank you. Excellent, so your answers are as follows. Just mark them. Brilliant, so I hope you're successful. Hopefully you're successful at that. If not, then please go back and replay the examples. Moving on then, so I've got another example now. So A, B and C, this time we're going to involve sharing money. So we're going to share £12. But again, I've got these combining ratio steps to do. So A and B is in the ratio 3:2. B and C is in 2:1. Okay? So before I do any sharing, I must combine the two ratios. So I combine them. Now, fortunately this time, I've given you it so the two numbers are the same, A and B. So I can just combine them to make 3:2:1. And then now it's a simple case of just dividing ratio like you've done in the last lesson. Okay, so as there are 6 parts, each part is worth 2, because you see I'm sharing 12 between these 6 parts. Each is worth 2, so therefore I times all the parts by 2. So it's 3 times 2, 6, 2 times 2, 4, 1 times 2, 2. Okay? So in a second, I'll just try this next example now. When you do that, I need you to make sure that you combine the ratios first of all. Okay? Just put me on pause, thank you. Okay then, so the answer, let's have a look at what we got. So after combining them, you make them both so they're 2, so the ratio becomes 2 to 1, and then it's a case of splitting up £20 in the ratio 2 to 1. So 5 parts, each is therefore worth 4, so you multiply all the numbers by 4. Okay, next example, okay, just talk you through it. Same again, so it's just combine the ratio 2 to 3 and 4 to 5. So you times in, you need to make them so they're 12, that's always come in multiple, remember? So times this one by 4, this one by 3, and combine it gives you 8, 12, 15. And then it's a case of splitting it up. Okay, so splitting £70 in the ratio 8, 12, and 15. So as there are 35 parts, each part is worth 2, so I just double these numbers. Okay, do you want to try the other one on the other side? Thank you. Put me on pause. Okay then, so here's your answer. So I combine them into that ratio, and then I split up £153 into between all those 51 parts there. So which means you're essentially timesing all the numbers by 3. Bridget, put me on pause while you try these questions, thank you. Excellent, so here are the answers. You check you got them right. And now we're just going to move on to the final thing we're going to do today, which is more of combining ratios, but now we're going to make it a bit different. So what is different about this question? I'll give you a chance to just read it and tell me what's different about it. Okay, so hopefully you've seen that it's still a combining ratio question first of all, but I'm only telling you one of the parts this time, not the total, okay? So the first step, as always, is to combine them. So 3 and 1 and 2 and 1. So just make the first one, so both the numbers here are 2. Okay, so I get 6 to 1 in my ratio because I times the first one by 2. 6 to 1, and I've told you that B gets 10. So these two parts are worth 10, meaning each part is worth 5. So if each part's worth 5, you times all those numbers there by 5. 6 times 5, 2 times 5, 1 times 5. So I want you to try now the one on the other side, thank you. Put me on pause. Excellent, here's your answer. After combining your ratios, you get 5, 10, 4. And it's a case of splitting. So A gets 15, so each part is going to be worth 15 divided by 5, which is 3. So you just times all the numbers by 3. Okay, next up, what's different about this question? I'll just give you a chance to read it. Okay, so this time I've given you the difference, but the method is still the same. You still combine the ratios. So I've made it so this number here is a 5, so I've times the second one by 5 to get you to 2, 5 and 30, to combining them. And now I've told you now, the new part is that the difference between A and B is 12. So there's 3 parts difference between A and B. So those 3 parts are worth 12, meaning that each part is worth 4. So if each part's worth 4, C gets 30 times 4, which is 120. So to see that again on the second example, I've got 2 ratios here, 4 and 5, and 2 and 3. I combine them, so this number here I'm going to make into what's the lowest common multiple of 5 and 2? Well, that's 10, so I combine them both to make 10. So that means I'm timesing the first ratio by 2, the second ratio by 5, and that's the result of timesing them. Okay, now the difference between B and C this time is 20. So that means those 5 parts there are worth 20, meaning each part is worth 20 divided by 5, which is 4. So that means you need to times all the numbers by 4. Okay. Now the final exercise is here, so you can try these 6 questions. If you need to, feel free to replay me for those examples. And then once you've done this, come back for the answers and don't forget to red, amber, green your work at the end. Thank you. Excellent. Here are your answers. Okay, and then red, amber, green. Oh, I'm going to, if you want to try this task, you can do. If not, you can skip past it. So if you want to try it, pause me now, because the answer is on the next slide. Answers? Pause me again if you want to check the answers. If not, this is your red, amber, green, purple to just a mark on your piece of work. Thank you, and well done for that. Well done today.